Okay, just have to start then. Okay, so welcome everyone on today's Metal3 Community meeting. My name is Adam Rosman and I will be your host today. Today is the 18th of February 2026. And let me quickly check the chat and the participant lists if we have anyone new joining, but I see, I think I see only names that I've seen before. So let's continue with the reminders. Please remember that the meeting is recorded. And let's continue with the other reminders. If you are new to the project, then please, if you would like to contribute, look for the good first issue or the have wanted labels on issues across the whole project on all of the repositories. You can use this filter in the GitHub issue search UI, and you will be able to filter for these issues easily, or you can click the link in the meeting document. If you are a part of an organization that would be willing to publicly acknowledge the adoption of Metal3, then you can do that by pushing a pull request to the community repository and editing the adopters.md file in the pull request, same way as others have done before, by adding your organization's name and some information about your use case and the date date when you have adopted Metal3. If you run into issues in the CI, meaning that you made a pull request or you are tracking a periodic job and you see failures that are not persistent, or you don't know why they're happening, or they're not related to your change, then please create an issue in the affected repository and link that issue to the Metal3 CI tracker project, and that way maintainers can much easier track the problem. Also, feel free to mention it on Slack or send a mail about it on the to the mailing list. Currently, we are investigating one such issue. Okay, if you are interested about any other artifact or deliverable or release or statistics, then please follow the links in the document, in the meeting document. And with that, I think we can continue with the working group updates. Is there anyone who would like to bring up any topic related to the working groups? I think I see multi-architecture picks in the regular topics, and another multi-arch, but we can discuss those as part of the discussion topics, but feel free to put them under the working group next time. So anyone, any working group specific topic on your minds? Okay, no one is speaking, nothing in the chat. Everyone is muted. Okay, then nothing for the working groups. We can continue. Next one is the release team in the roadmap, and there have been some activity there. Mosher last week released a lot of patch releases. Thanks for that, and thanks for all the contributors. I mentioned that the week before that there is one thing among these that you might be interested in if you have adopted 12.1 of the IPAM. There was one actual bug fix in the 12.2 and also on the main. It was backported from main, and it was related to the limits that we had on certain requests. and that was causing problems both in CapM3 and later in the IPAM for some users. So this has been removed. So if you are using 12.0 of IPAM or 12.1, please keep an eye out for this one, and if possible, upgrade to the 12.2. And soon there will be in the coming weeks a .3 release and a .6 release for these release branches respectively. Okay. Any questions related to the release process or the current recent patch releases? Okay. If nothing, I will check the chat again. Nothing in chat. Okay. Then we reach the discussion topics. So our first proper discussion topic is from Leonard and Anthony. Or Anton, sorry, I'm not sure how to pronounce your name, but it's from you folks. I will open it and feel free to explain your issue. Am I not here? I see no one is speaking. Oh, okay. Mic issue.
I don't hear you.
Okay. So folks have a mic issue, and I see it in the chat. Until the mic gets fixed, let's jump to the other topic from Serhi, and then maybe by the time we finish, we can continue with the other one. So then multi-architecture.
Yeah, just to highlight that this is still open. I think everyone already who is interested did a review. I think it's kind of safe to merge already, but just highlighting. And I have a second one. I wanted to concentrate on that also, if it makes sense. What it basically does is adds a flag into a template engine so that MAC address will be set up from BMH, link BMH into a networking lookup. So you won't need to like manually put MAC address in multiple places. I mean, exclusively the boot MAC address, because it does make sense from a template standpoint. You don't really, and when you have a lot of servers, I don't like writing that thing multiple times in multiple places. I mean, if it makes sense.
Yeah, I think the concept makes sense. Why not? If the templating engine can pick it. But I'm just wondering that why do we even have it in the data template?
What do you mean? Interface?
Yeah. So you are getting the Mac.
Yeah, the case is basically this. For some of the interfaces, specifically the boot interface, right? We already know the MAC address because we defined it in bare metal host, and we can't change it in the lifecycle of bare metal host. And specifically for this interface, you might want to have some kind of network configuration, right? And like renaming the actual NIC on the host itself. Say I want to name it uniquely across all the machines. Say, I don't know, like PXE, for example, right? So I can reference it in other places, and I exclusively know that my PXE interface is basically the one that I booted, and maybe it's also a data plane interface. I don't know. Like right now, you can do it, but you need to like manually specify the MAC address again in the template. It doesn't make really sense because all the data is there already for the controller to render that config, and you can just like say, for this specific interface, just like put this MAC and name it like this. That's all. Like you save a bit like a few lines of the templates for each bare metal host. Basically, that's all.
Okay. I have nothing against it. I just don't remember all the stuff we can do with the network config when we template. But yeah, I will check this. It does not seem to be too big of a change.
Yeah, it's kind of simple. I just thought that it would make sense because in downstream we have some environments that have a lot of bare metal hosts, and you kind of it's very hard to track when you change something. Like if you have 200 plus hosts and you need change max in multiple places, kind of gets annoying. Like when you error a lot, basically. In that case, you only need to change it specifically to this interface only on bare metal host, not to align the networking config with that also.
Yeah. I'm just looking the CR. But okay, yeah. Anyone else? Any questions while I'm looking the CR and trying to get a better picture of this? Okay, if not, then thanks. Yeah, then we will review it. And then I guess then we discuss both of these. Let me check the chat. Okay, mic is fixed now. So before we would go back to the first topic, is there anyone who has any question, comments about these last two topics that we discussed? Oh, okay. Then let's go to the first group of issues or PRs. So host provisioner
Yes.
properties.
Hello.
Hello.
Yeah, I just saw that there was a GTM 20 minutes ago, so I think we are good for that one.
Okay. Let me just quickly read what is the topic here. Oh yeah. This was the property topic, the additional properties.
Yes.
Yes. Okay. Now I know what this is all about. Host provisioner. Yeah. Okay. Then there are three of the reviewers assigned and one additional person also commented, even two. So okay, this is being reviewed. Okay, fine. And then the other one.
Yes, so that one, we need it basically to continue working, but again, it's it just got the good to me tag, so I think we are good for the 2 PR.
Mhm.
I have one comment about this. I already listed on the thread, but I would like to have the same format of environment variable as Ironic Image has. That's all. Like the implementation makes sense. I'll basically hit that thing a few days ago. I wanted to do the SIM repair basically, and works. I mean, this is like a actual case. Then you don't have pre-provisioning image support for multi-arch basically, but the format should be the same of the configuration, like the one we have in Ironic image, because it doesn't make sense to have multiple of them. But that's probably all the comments, like the highlight of the thing.
Okay, so this whole show goes based on wait, what decides which of the architectures, like which URL, which download URL for the IP will be used? I mean, like, what's the basis of selecting this like the RAM disk and the kernel? Because I see that there is function for getting architecture specific URL. Okay. But I would assume you need this already for inspection.
I assumed that this was about pre-provisioning image, and in right now pre-provision image if you take the built-in controller of the bare metal operator, it expects without the external one, right? Without the flag of the external one. It expects two variables, like regular ones with in RAMFS and kernel. That's all. Like the older iteration without biarch, right? But if you want to make this working on multi-arch, you need to specify pre-existing images somehow into that built-in controller, and basically two other arches are needed, right? Like, sorry, the second for ARM, like we have IMD, and the second one is for ARM. And after that, it makes sense to look up the correct dictionary, basically based on the CPU architecture that you specify on the bare metal host. That makes sense. If I understand the idea correctly.
Yeah, that's fine, but I see here like there is provisional inspect data, and then under that CPU architecture, and then get host architecture. Well, I'm just interested in that. Where do we get this information?
I would expect it would come from bare metal host object itself. When you specify the architecture, by default it would be AMD, and if you need something else, you set it. And this is how I would do it.
Yeah. Just because we don't have another topic, just let me check something. Just to make sure I'm on the same page as you folks, because I was not reviewing this, I was not tagged to review this one. That's why I'm so out of context here. So you have your BMH, cool, and then on this one, under the spec, okay, yeah, this one. This one. So you say it's based on this one, okay. And eventually populated by inspection, okay, good. Because I didn't remember we had this. I was probably
It's kind
never
of
needed.
newish, a few releases only. Yeah.
Okay, then you get the stuff based on that. Good, cool. Thank you.
Just
Yeah.
a quick question on this is I missed part of the discussion, so sorry if it's already been answered. But we already give the information during the registration to Ironic about the architecture, so that it can do the right choice for the initram and kernel during the inspection. So if I understood correctly, this is when you also specify an override to this in the bare metal host, or why do we need to give it again during the inspection here? And
I don't think we have to give it again for inspection. I just wanted to figure out like where the controller internally queries the data and what, because I didn't remember this architecture field in the BMH, so I assume it's the same architecture that we specify during registration, and then that will be that data will be used here in this feature. So I don't think there has to be there is no need to again provide it. It's the same as I understand that was provided during the registration. Right? During registration and inspection, I guess this just refers to the fact that the behavior is right now that if you don't set it during registration, it's populated during inspection. But I guess if you, I don't know how it would be populated if you let's say use ARM and you don't have yeah, if you use ARM but you register it incorrectly, then you can't do anything anyway. So I think it's just worded a bit weirdly, as I understand. But
well, to me, it's more that this first step I thought was already done correctly. So that's why I'm a bit surprised. And because as far as I know, we already got this first element correctly. So,
I wonder if we can concentrate only on the pre-provisioning image and not change the whole story of how it works. I mean, it only happens in the case when you use pre-provisioning image, not the regular deployment. For regular deployment, it kind of works because all the machinery of guessing architecture is on Ironic side. But when you do pre-provisioning image, you are responsible for correctly giving out arch-based initramfs, right? And this is currently doesn't work. I mean, you can't use multi-arch with pre-provisioning image if you use built-in controller, not some kind of external controller that the Metal3 book talks about, the one that OpenShift uses, I think, right? And
okay, so it's
for me it was like
okay.
Sorry.
It's for the pre-provisioning image, so the thing that builds an ISO from within the well, not it's when using the pre-provisioning image from the BMO and not relying solely on Ironic making the choice. Then.
Yeah, but
Okay.
there are like two options with that controller, right? The one that is external, and in case of this is like being external, we don't care about because it's external. But there is also like the internal one that just takes the value of deploy kernel URL and deploy RAM disk URL and puts it into a spec. That's all it does, basically. And in this specific case, when we already have multi-arch support, this kind of doesn't make sense and doesn't work, because for the built-in pre-provision image controller that is inside the operator itself, you can't specify multiple arches. And I suppose we want to fix this first, and after that we can, because the other things are working. You don't need to fix them. The only thing you need is to fix the pre-provisioning image controller, the built-in one. That's all. Like put multiple by arch environment variables into control, parse them, and just set the spec. That's all you need to have. You don't need anything else. Nothing else needs to be changed. I don't think you need to change even provision ironic changes. Like all of these changes are not required for this specific fix.
Okay, I think I get it.
Yeah, I think we are on the same page with this one. I think a lot of people in the community don't even use custom controllers for the pre-provisioning image that you were mentioning.
Yeah, and custom controller is fine, and you can fix it by your own because it's your controller. But in case of built-in, it kind of broken, because it makes sense actually to use built-in in some cases. And like the simple case is basically I don't want to rebuild the image. I just want to have the static networking injected by Ironic itself directly, and that's all what I want. Just give me the ability to do multi-arch there. That is all.
Yep, I agree. Okay. Thanks for the good discussion. Let me check the chat quickly if anyone had any comments, questions for this. No? Okay. So that was the host provision, okay, properties, and then this was Pixie, right? Yeah. Why? But why is it called Pixie, by the way?
Maybe we should write the discussion down specifically to this, because I'm kind of hitting the same problem, and I wanted to do PR, but if somebody already did it, like maybe we should just like write down the path we want to take and just wait for the PR, because it's kind of simple if you change the pre-provisioning image only.
Yeah, but sorry, I didn't understand. What would you like to write down, or
the discussion points about the specific PR? If we want the pre-provisioning image only without changing stuff, or I don't know, because I don't want to do the same work if it's already exists. Like I'm fine with the solution.
Okay. Next. Pre-provision. Okay, and I would say that this is the preferred approach from the community. Is there anything else I should add to this? Is it enough as like discussion points and that this is the preferred way we should handle the.
I think we covered everything, yeah. But maybe someone else also has some opinions.
On my side, I thought the most preferred approach would be to not use the pre-provisioning image at all and just let Ironic handle it. But
Yeah, I think in this scenario we don't need to write, or do we? I think this just. Oh no, it's actually. Okay, well, I didn't see this line. Okay. That's actually good point. That
but it doesn't remove the fact that for the default, well, like the embedded pre-provision image builder, I don't remember how this one works, but we may have to do something to make it work for multi-arch if it doesn't already.
Built-in is quite simple. It just takes values from environment variable and sets them into a status. That's all it does. Like, very simple. So to fix the multi-arch thing with built-in, you just need to set correct arch-based values. That's all. And that you pass from environment variable. You don't need to change anything else.
Yeah, I would expect those change then to be limited to the internal pre-provisioning image builder phase and not to be all around in the Ironic provisioner. But maybe it's something I misunderstood somewhere. I'm not sure.
one thing. Let me check, because we don't have any other topics, and honestly, we can skip the backlog because it's not that big of a deal. Because we don't have triaging today. So pre-provisioning image CR, just let me check this one if this has architecture. Okay.
I can quickly also talk about this because I was like literally working with this a few days ago. So the built-in provisioner pre-provision image creates that object when the pre-provision secret is set on the bare metal host object, right? And if we don't enable external pre-provisioning controller that builds that image, it just puts the values from environment variables into a status and pushes that to Ironic. Ironic then consumes those images, like not the ISOs, just the initramfs and the kernel, and uses them to either assemble the virtual media or whatever you want there. Depends on how you set the connector, right? This is what it does. In case of external thing, it just the BMO basically blocks until the pre-provisioning status is populated, and that status gets populated from the external controller. Similar thing, but in case of external controller, it can do a bit more actions like creating custom images. But this is like the flow.
Yeah. Okay. I now understand. We have the multiple use cases here. Okay. So this was specifically to support like this CR to be usable with multiple architectures, and for the outside controllers and or the built-in or anyone who is using this one to be able to build and use the multi-arch images and stuff. But then we still have the functionality to make IPA decide if you are not using this pre-provisioning CR based on the architecture, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think so. But I don't think we need to actually. I mean, we might want to change the flow how we push the images, and specifically say to Ronic we want this arch based on the bare metal host spec. But I don't think we need to mix those two things into one PR, because it kind of makes a bit more complex, because we're trying to guess and like brute force how Ronic would work in that case. But if we separate it into two places and start from the pre-provisioning image, we kind of don't even care about Ronic, because we don't really change any kind of flow. We just fix the missing functionality of pre-provisioning image. And you can actually use pre-provisioning image for PXE boot. I mean, I didn't try, but but I think it will work also. It should work, right? I hope it works. We can try.
Yeah, but I think anyhow we have to, because we have the pre-provisioning image and we have the use cases for them. And I mean pre-provisioning image, I mean the custom resource and the related controllers and whatnot. So yeah, I guess that has to work with multi-arch anyhow. So this has to be implemented. It's the same when I was working on the node-specific kernel argument stuff, that I was asked to also consider this pre-provisioning image CR, because that has to work with kernel arguments also. So
yeah,
it makes sense.
If we split this, it's a quick win, because the change itself is kind of simple. You just like put values to status. That's all.
Yep. Yeah.
The only thing I would expect, as I commented in the change itself, is and the configuration values should be mirrored from Ironic image, so we won't need to like explain why we have this specific format for Ironic image and this specific format for bare metal operator. That's all. And that basically means you need just to write a simple parser that will parse by arch. That's in similar way that Ironic does. That's all.
Yeah. Okay. I extended this, that this is the like the approach we go for the pre-provisioning image, just to make sure no one gets confused that it doesn't mean that you have to use this CR. Of course, everyone who brings pre-built static IPAs, multiple of them for multiple architectures, they can still rely on Ironic. So that's also okay. This is just for the folks who are using this resource.
Yeah, but if we implement the same format of configuration, we actually solve the both problems, right? We have the pre-provisioning image working, and the Ironic will also work, because we already have the changes in the Ironic image itself with by arch without the pre-provisioning image, and have the same format. We just put it into the same config map. That's all. Like magically works.
Yeah, fine by me. This last point I might be not following that why what we are putting in where, but
yeah. Again, so we have this by-arch support in Ironic itself, right? And the Ironic operator also, PRC is kind of open about this. So the idea is that you populate Ironic with by-arch multiple values where you kind of specify what specific Ironic, initramfs kernel image for specific arch you want to use, right? And this works from the Ironic point of view. When you boot it either with virtual media or with PXE, it will solve the serving part, and it will choose the proper kernel and the initramfs inside the Ironic itself without the bare metal operator doing stuff. In case of pre-provisioning image, if we implement the same configuration with by-arch, we also cover this case, and we have same configuration for both Ironic and non-Ironic. We don't need to do anything else. And after that, we can maybe try to move the arch thing directly into bare metal operator if we want to, without Ironic messing around. I mean, might want to have this. I don't know.
Yeah, that's another discussion, but okay. Yeah, because I'm also one of the users who is not running pre-provisioning image. I always try to let Ironic handle these things on its own. So I'm not sure that we want to delegate it in the future only to BMO to decide these things. But in any case, if we have in both places, that's fine.
And
that covers
there is a kind of a use case when you want to have this from BMO side, kind of edge case when the Ironic itself can't detect the arch correctly and you want to write it from bare metal host, like some weird architecture that Ironic still does not kind of support, but you can force it to use or does not detect correctly because the hardware itself is not correct. And kind of makes sense maybe in the future, and we might want to have this option, but I don't think we need to mix it in this change right now because it's a feature request, and right now we're basically fixing a bug, right? We're missing pre-provisioning image bug basically, and adding something else. It's kind of a lot more testing needs to be done.
Yeah, I agree. We don't have to mix that topic here. It's also very as you mentioned, that's like a edge case. That's honestly stuff like that is usually downstream just patched in, but okay. But anyways, related to the feature, it's fine. It's okay. It does not contradict the work that has been done on the Ironic image for multi-arch. So that's fine. Yeah.
Just to be sure I understood the same thing. The provisioning image thing is the internal one is what is handled by this file, like the one that I just posted in the chat.
Well, okay, I will check the chat.
This is this one that.
Yeah, I think so. That's the one.
Mm-hmm.
So basically, I believe that if we want this one to have multi-arch support, all the changes should be there.
Yeah, like line 19 and 18, right? Here we just add extra lines that allow you to parse by arch and keep the deploy ISO URL and run this, I think, maybe. Or align it with the values that Ironic image has. So we have same configuration. I think it's kind of a bit different of the name. I'm not sure. I need to check. But if we align it here, we will be fine in the future. Kind of isolated, right? And you don't actually need to test it because the only test you need to do is like unit test that will just test the status that values are correctly based on bare metal host structure. That's all.
Okay.
I will add this also to the. Okay. Okay. Anything else we should discuss for this one? No. Nothing in chat. Okay. Okay. I just wanted to check IRSU and ironic image quickly because those had released not so long ago, and I just want to see if ironic image needs 36. I think. Yes, and then IRSU we need an O10. I seen this correctly. It's yeah. Okay. Okay, so we are almost out of time, but I don't think we have to check the other ones because they only got patch releases. No minors or majors or anything like that. At 13, 14, yeah. Okay. Any last questions, comments, additional action points that we would need to take or anything? Okay. If not, then thanks for joining today and thanks for the good discussions. I will, if I have time, I will also look a bit deeper into this one topic because it's quite interesting, and I actually always get confused by this built-in preprov image provider because I never use it. Okay, but other than that, yeah, thank you everyone, and let me check the chat. Nothing in chat. I think, yeah, nothing. So until the next meeting, have a great week, and again, thanks for joining, and bye-bye.
Thanks. Bye.
Bye.